Hi, welcome to a new episode of La Oficina de Juegos.
Today we are going to talk about Takyon. Takyon is a game by Azahar Juegos. It's a game about time travel, which is a topic that I love. I'm always watching movies, watching series, and reading books about that topic, so I'm a little obsessed.
So, as Jenny mentioned, this game was made by Azahar Juegos. You may already know Azahar Juegos from other games like Xanadu, Hot Potato, I, Guatavita, Focus. Well, they have different kind of games for all people. So we will leave the link below, and maybe you can go and check their website and buy some other cool game from them. Takyon, especially as mentioned in the box, is for the recommended age. Is for plus 13 and is for 2 to 5 people. The average time says here is around 90 minutes. We have played just the two of us, 3 and 4 people, and usually that's about the time that we take for each play. So if you like a game that is not that long, around half an hour, then this is your game.
Regarding the design of the game, we love a lot the design. All the components are well made. The colors, the art of the board is really nice. A plus of this game is the game is in Spanish and in English. All the components are in Spanish and in English. So in that way you could practice your Spanish. For example, the game has missions, and the missions are in English and in Spanish. For example, this one is reforest the Amazon rainforest. This is too serious, too important. And also has, for example, this one. Teach the Roman Empire the ways of Pastafarianism. When we play the game, we research about Pastafarianism because we don't know anything about that. And we found it's like a cult, and it's a group of people that worship a flying spaghetti monster. So this is too serious.
Regarding the mechanic of the game, well, the most important thing about the game is, of course, that it is about time travel. How do you win in this game? Well, you have to be the player that scores the most points at the end of the game. So only one player can win. How do you score the points? Well, you have to fulfill those missions that Jenny already showed you, a couple of them. And to fulfill those missions, what you have to do is you have to use your travel machine in order to move between eras, seasons, and even continents. When you move between eras, what you do is that you collect technologies. Those technologies can be war technologies, art technologies, religious technologies, and some other more. And with those, you have to then go to a specific point of time. Let's say I want to go to the French Revolution in summer, so you go through a black hole, and then you go to Europe and finish in the French Revolution, finish your mission and score some points. So, how can you finish your missions? Well, you have 7 different actions in the game that you can use in order to move those eras and seasons and continents. For example, you have black holes, you have space worms, or you can even go between space and time and go, for example, to a time museum where you can sell your technologies that you don't need, you don't use, and gather some money. You can also go to a missions console where you can buy new missions, or even you can go to Novaterra, that is the future Earth, where you can find some future technologies that will help you finish those missions and get some points that you desperately need. When you want to, for example, buy new missions, you have to use the currency of the game. Can you guess what's the currency of the game? Takyons. You have these little takyons that you can use for many things like buying those missions and, well, some other actions. What else? Well, you can use those mini takyons to go to the Paradox Agency, because you know when you start to time travel, you will create new timelines, and that means trouble. So you will start to create paradoxes that will block you between the game, and like for example, you cannot go to Europe, you cannot go to North America, So you will have to go to the paradox agency and pay them in order for them to destroy that paradox. This means that the game could be also kind of semi-competitive, because when you create a paradox, you don't necessarily have to go yourself to destroy that paradox. That's something that I'm not very a fan of, because you have to like force other players or tell them to go and erase their own paradox, because if you're the one that is winning and you have a certain amount of paradoxes, then everybody will lose the game. So if you're winning, of course, you don't want to be the one that loses the game because of somebody else.
For example, when we were playing, John was a little stressed about the paradox of the game, and he was trying to force me to go to the paradox agency, and I didn't want to go because that was not my strategy.
Of course, I mean, I was winning, and if you don't do that, everybody will lose, so I didn't want that.
Finally, we want to point out 3 things about this game. First one, the travel time topic, of course. If you like black holes, low gravity, and space war, this is your game.
Second one, the missions. Because there are a lot of missions, and each game you only get a certain amount of missions. So this gives you a lot of replayability, because then in the next game you don't know what kind of mission you will get. Also the missions, because they need to be delivered in certain era and season and continent, then gives like a lot of strategy to the game, because you have to think 2 or 3 rounds further in order to finally get the era that you want.
And the third one, this is a good game for 2 people. We are always looking for games for 2 people, because in this house we are 2. And this is a competitive game, an excellent competitive game for 2 people. And also it's good for 3 to 5 players.
Well, that was all. I hope you liked our review. Don't forget to subscribe. That's the bell over there. And follow us for next reviews and next videos for board games, and especially for Takyon.
Bye!
Bye!